Hello. So I just wanted to talk about whatever was happening recently. Um, and one thing I started doing recently, again, was listening to K-pop because you know what I saw. It was probably on Reels or TikTok where someone said something like, your mental is bad when you start listening to K-pop again. And you know what? They're not wrong. So yeah, I started listening to K-pop again. I've been grooving. I've been doing my little dancey dance, and it's been a great time. And I stopped listening to K-pop like frequently around like 2020, 2021. So I had to go back and listen to the old stuff, and these are songs I haven't heard of in what feels like forever. So I'm listening to these songs and I'm like, damn, I forgot that existed. And that song is such a bop. You know what? Saying the word bop just sounds weird to me now for some reason, but they were bops. They were, and they still are. Um, and I have a K-pop playlist on Spotify that has over 500 songs, specifically from that like era, from like the 2010 to like 2020-ish, 2021. I have some newer songs, and I've made that playlist collaborative, so if you do want to add in some songs, you can do that. I think there's some people on it already, but like, y'all, you guys need to add songs to it. Come on now, let's get it to 600. Yeah, when I was in my K-pop phase, I didn't learn a lot of dances. I learned a few, not really the full dance. I was never like that kind of person who would learn a full K-pop dance. However, I did learn like especially the courses for like Blackpink songs. I think that was a big one. I'd say some of the BTS ones, but I don't really remember any BTS dances. But my old group was definitely BTS and Blackpink, I guess. At the time, they were on top at the time. I don't really know what it is now. I know everyone has their own opinions. And look, I had to go and listen to the new BTS album because they were coming back after 4 years. Of course, I had to listen. Look, they did something. It wasn't what a lot of people were expecting, I guess. It's not something I'm personally gonna have in my playlist rotation. Like Swim has like a little catchy thing. I think one thing about some of the songs they are catchy. Hooligan, despite it being an interesting song, it is catchy. So that's something. Anyway, moving on from K-pop. As you can see, I'm drawing a pizza spread, and a pizza was actually recommended to me by someone in my comments, I think on one of my shorts. So thank you to whoever commented pizza. And if you want to see me draw something else, you can also recommend something, and I'm gonna get around to it. So yeah, in this spread you'll see I did a little pizza, a pizza slice, and some other little stuff around, I guess. I'm just like freeballing it, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really have a plan going in. I was just randomly pulling up references and going, you know what, let me just add like a little bit of that here and a little bit of this there. And when I was doing the pizza, the initial pizza slice, and I looked at that cheese and I went, ooh, I'm gonna have to come back and fix that, which I do. And you'll see what I do with it eventually, but yeah. I think with the spread, like as I was looking at it when I was done, there's definitely a few things I changed, but for the most part, it's just like, look, I was just letting myself do whatever I want in the moment. Like, not everything needs to be perfection, especially not in a sketchbook. Like, that's what a sketchbook is for. It's for just putting things down. And I think for the longest time, the absolute longest time, probably like 2-3 years, I hadn't done anything in a sketchbook. And that was because I was putting so much pressure on myself to make really cool, really interesting, intriguing pieces in every single page and every single spread, which just isn't possible because not everything's going to be perfect and not everything's going to be a masterpiece. So I had to somehow break this imaginary barrier I put on myself when it came to making art in my sketchbook. So what I did one day was just I sat down at my desk and I just did some bullshit in my sketchbook, right? It was bad. I just did whatever. I did 2 spreads of trash essentially, and you know what, that genuinely helped because it made me less afraid, and that's all I needed. I just needed to be not afraid of creating in a sketchbook. And it sounds so silly, like saying it afterwards, like I was scared to draw my sketchbook. Why? But I don't know, I think it's something that a lot of people go through, weirdly enough, just being afraid to like put down some bullshit in a sketchbook. And of course I still feel like the pressure of creating good things in a sketchbook, because no one wants to create trash. Like, that's just not something people want to do. So like you still have to constantly essentially fight with yourself about, or like not be mean to yourself about creating something that is, in your opinion, trash. But you're just gonna have to keep pushing through it every single time you use your sketchbook, every single time something doesn't work out the way you want it to. And you also have to learn to problem solve, where if you do create something that looks like trash in your opinion, how to fix it, how to pick up a different piece of paper and stick that in and draw on top of it, or I don't know, different creative ways to make it look better or save it essentially. And people have made so many different creative videos about that. You know what, I might try to test out like all these different ways. I think that might be fun. Like, I don't know, even just like the way people junk journal, just throwing some random stuff in there and see how they can turn junk into something that looks not like junk. Also, I'm slowly but surely coming to the end of this particular sketchbook. And this sketchbook is I specifically got this one sketchbook. This is a Moleskine pocket sketchbook. I got this sketchbook because I was having such a hard time filling sketchbooks, and I felt maybe if I just go smaller, it'll make it so much easier for me to fill. And it did work eventually, because it doesn't feel like such a big deal anymore since it's so small. So if you are struggling to fill a sketchbook, maybe consider getting a smaller one, just so it's something you can fill out easier. But yeah, it's slowly but surely coming to an end. I think I have about 8 or 9 spreads left in total in this sketchbook, so I need to get a new sketchbook. And if you guys have any sketchbook brands you'd like to recommend, please put them down below, because I am actively looking, because it is running out fast. And I'm looking for, I think I'm gonna go for a sketchbook size that's bigger than this, maybe an A5. Wait, how big is the sketchbook? I think the sketchbook might be ooh, no, the sketchbook is probably A6. So yeah, probably an A5 sketchbook. I don't think I'm ready to go quite that big just yet. Yeah, any recommendations would be greatly appreciated. And if you want to recommend a medium for me to use. Like, you can recommend that too. You can recommend anything, you know what? Just recommend whatever comes to mind, and I might have a little look. Mamma mia. Yeah, if you're wondering how I fix the cheese, I completely rolled over it because I did not know how to fix the cheese. Problem solving. But if you made it this far into this YouTube video, first of all, thank you very much. I love you. Secondly, make sure to like, subscribe, comment what you think about this spread, or comment what you think I should draw next. Comment your plans for the day. I don't know, comment something. You can follow me on Instagram at chelseajxnes. I was about to say something completely different because I recently changed my username. Anyway, please like, subscribe, follow, and I'll see you next time. Bye.